What's up, NoFAP gang? It's been a while. So I've been wanting to make a video for a couple of weeks now. I've been procrastinating, telling myself that I gotta wait until I get in the right setting and get to my spot so I can have my backdrop and all this and that. But I haven't made the time to do that, so I figured I'd make a video on the fly because I don't want it to go on too much longer. So I'm sitting here at the beach right now. If you can hear the waves splashing and all of that, that's what's going on. But so in here, in this setting, let me start off by saying shout out to Win the Day, shout out to Michelle NoFAP 360 Days, shout out to Robbie L, and shout out to Akeem Davis, actually one of my childhood friends who found my YouTube channel. So what's up, bro? Hit me up and I'm gonna contact you soon. So why the long break? So first off, let me say before we go on, give you a summary of what we're gonna talk about. So there's been some changes since my last video, which I said was about November time frame. I've had some things happen since then and kind of redirected the course of the way I plan on approaching this lifestyle or living this lifestyle of seminal retention and the course of these videos and how they'll be moving forward. So, you know, it's not too much of a drastic change, so I ain't trying to flip the script on you or nothing like that. Just some small things that I've learned that I feel like apply to me, and they may not apply to you. Maybe, just there's a lot of YouTube channels out here, so especially about this subject. So, maybe you'll find some in here, and maybe you'll find some in another video, or maybe you know things yourself already that you have to piece together. So let me get started with it. Like I said, so why the break? So back at that time, I believe my last video was the day 14 video, and I ran into a spell where shortly after that, I think I made it to about 19, 20 days. I forgot to post my day 18 update video. And I think that probably had something to do with why I slipped and I stumbled. But right before I got to day 21, I ended up masturbating, and ejaculating. So I felt ashamed about it. I was doing so good, and I had all of the viewers and people looking at the channel. So I did feel quite a bit ashamed about it, and disappointment. Like I felt like I let the channel down somewhat to a certain extent. So, but that is not ultimately why I didn't make a video. I didn't make a video because I was enveloped by other things in my life at that time. So I started writing autobiography, and I started picking it up on my poetry, and I started pursuing my poetry and making moves towards that. Going up to DC and doing open mic event nights, poetry events, and I made some contacts and connections up there. Sorry about my papers, my little napkins flying around down here. So I started pursuing other things in my life. And I was while doing those things, even though I was in the pursuit of things that were bringing me towards where I wanted to be in life for a while, I was masturbating a lot, very consistently, a lot of times every day. Usually, most of the time, predominantly not more than once a day. It was like a once a day type thing, I guess, at the end of the day, just to get a fix and then move on with the next day. Very rarely, maybe a couple of days, I did it more than once. So I'm not trying to deny like I wasn't binging at all. I did. I went days and days and months for doing it. And in the process of doing that, this is a part of what I learned, and this is what changed the course of how I'm approaching it, is that I was doing it so much, but I was still doing good things, the autobiography, pursuing my poetry. And I told myself, I'm gonna focus on these things. These will be my focus right now. So let me see if I can love myself while I'm still masturbating, let me see if I can feel like it's not a problem and just continue on. And so when I started to do that, I started to notice something still masturbating a lot of times every day, I started to be able to love myself that way. And instead of waiting for that moment while I was 10 days in, or 30 days in, or 90 days in, to where I could feel like I was good and, like I needed that to be the person I am, I started to feel like I was that person now, or, then, even in that moment. So what I learned, let me see if I can formulate this right without it sounding bumbled and confused, so bear with me in this if it doesn't come out right. So what I learned is that in those moments where I learned that I was still lovable, and I learned that I still possessed the qualities that I desired to possess through NoFAP, but I learned that I possessed those qualities already, even though I was masturbating. So it was like instead of focusing on that moment to come for me to love myself, like, okay, I'm not having masturbated in 3 weeks, I feel good, I feel great. I started to be able to feel that way about myself then, right now, even though I just masturbated the day before. So, you know, I learned through loving myself then that I was still outspoken, I was still energized, I was still very attractive, I still had a magnetic personality, these things. And it was like, because before, I felt like it took NoFAP to have those things, and I wasn't at the point in NoFAP that I was at. And I know, you know, I say NoFAP, but I mean seminal retention. But because I wasn't at the point in seminal retention that I wanted to be, I felt like I guess I had too much shame or too much anticipation to get there, that I was overlooking the fact that I was already those things. And yes, they are amplified. Don't get me wrong. They are amplified when you are, you know, in a good period of NoFAP and seminal retention, but they don't completely go away when you masturbate. So it's like those qualities don't just pop up out of the blue as if they were never a part of you before. They were in there laying dormant. You know, they were in there laying dormant for me. And I mean, I've been that way my whole life. I've always been a stand-up guy, never back down to anybody. But I just, you know, so just through desiring, you know, enough of that, but through desiring NoFAP and all of that, I started to look for something that I felt like I needed in my life. And because I wasn't getting that from what I needed, I wasn't at where I wanted to be at and what I felt like I needed, I felt shame that prevented me from loving myself and seeing that I already had a lot of good qualities. That probably took me a lot longer than I wanted it to take. So what I'm saying is that that's the change that I had. So now moving forward, what I don't want to do, what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to day count. I'm not going to give updates or, 30-day update or nothing like that. I would just focus, like right now I'm good. For the past month or so, month and a half, I've been back on track. Yeah, I've done it a day or two of things like that, but it hasn't been a consistent, obsessive thing that consumes my days. And I don't do it at random times. It's like strategically placed. Like, okay, let me do it. It's the end of the day. I done got everything I needed done. I can partake in that. Now, I would prefer not to do it at all. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not saying that I feel like it's okay all the way to just do that, because, there are a lot of things that go along with that. Now, this video's getting long. I told myself this video wasn't going to be this long. But, so what I'm saying with the changes moving forward, I'm not day counting. And I'm not going to beat myself up for slipping on a day. Because I got to think about the other areas of my life, like me eating raw vegan for most of my days. There are some days when I don't eat raw vegan. And just because I had one day where I don't eat raw vegan, it doesn't mean that my whole life has become unhealthy. And as far as the dietary side goes, I had one day where I slipped up, and because I've been eating raw vegan for years and years, I still have all the benefits that come with that, even though I slipped up for one day. You know what I'm saying? It's the same with NoFAP, with seminal retention. And I'm not encouraging anybody to give in to the desire to masturbate or anything like that. I'm just telling you what I've done, what I've figured out to come to terms with me being a human and still having temptation and desire. With me working out, I go to the gym Monday through Friday very faithfully. And even on Saturday and Sunday, I go do like an active recovery day. But there are some days when I don't go to the gym. But just because I didn't go to the gym for that one day doesn't mean that all of my, past couple of years of weight training have gone to waste. I just had one day where I slipped, and it's the same with seminal retention. Yeah, I don't feel as good in that day, just like I don't feel as good in the day when I do masturbate and ejaculate. But my whole life, all the work I've done, all the times I didn't masturbate, all the days that I have built up and preserved from refraining from masturbation aren't gone to waste. It's just I had one day where I slipped. And the same thing with same thing with sleeping. And I'm not gonna go to. I gave enough analogies already, the eating and weightlifting thing. So getting into 10 minutes here. So next, as far as going forward, like I said, I got my little napkin here with my little notes on. I'm not gonna show you because it looks pretty tacky, but so I'm going to pick up. So nothing's changing other than that. What I just stated about not counting days and not beating myself up for one day. I'm still gonna post consistently. Last time, what prevented me from posting was my disappointment and shame, because I told you I wasn't going to do it. I'm going to get here, and I didn't get there. So it prevented me from posting. It discouraged me from posting. I ain't going to say prevented me. I chose not to. But so moving forward, I won't have any of that shame. There'll be some days when I'm talking to y'all where I may have masturbated the night before. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, because most of my days are not filled with masturbation. And I'm still reaping a lot of the benefits of seminal retention. And I'm not telling you to give up on your hard mode or anything like that, where you go 90 days or 180 days. If that comes to me, I'll appreciate it. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I ain't gonna get into all that either. So moving forward, I'm gonna pick back up with the timeline videos that I had, excluding the day 30 updates, day 42 updates. I'm not doing any of those. What I'll pick up with next, I believe the next video on the timeline was the birth of my porn addiction. So coming next Sunday, it's crazy today is Sunday. I didn't even plan it this way. Today just so happened to be Sunday, and this is usually the day I posted the other videos on. But so come next Sunday, I will post a video on the birth of my porn addiction, where I will invite y'all into the start of it all. Sexual encounters and sexual things that I went through when I was younger. I'm gonna stop saying I've been saying a lot this video. Sexual encounters that I went through a lot when I was younger. When I was introduced to pornography in the first place by my brother and things like that. He had no bad intentions. He was a young guy too. It's just kind of an invitation into how it all got started. And I'll get into that next week on Sunday. So that's all I have for today. It was kind of like a recap video. In summary, I talked about what the change is and where I've been. I've seen people post comments, what happened because I just made the day 14 video and dropped off the face of the earth. I've seen people still encouraging me, like, man, I love your videos, keep on doing it, please, things like that. So I appreciate the encouragement. I appreciate the old boy who checked me and asked what happened, because truthfully, it was that comment that made me like, dang, I did just dump it all. So I appreciate those comments, man. I appreciate you checking me on that. I'm back. I plan on being back for a while. I plan on the consistency being better this time, and the timeline video to be followed. I'm gonna take up too much more of the time. I took him enough time already. So again, if you are part of this NoFAP gang community, I appreciate you. If you want to support this NoFAP gang community and channel, then hit the like button. If you'd like to become a part of it, then hit the subscribe button and drop your comments in the comment box below. So I hope y'all have a beautiful day. I hope you had a beautiful day, a beautiful weekend. And I will see y'all next Sunday. NoFAP gang for life, man.